Good day to you. In this video, we are going to talk on law of indices, and these are some law of indices. We have 1 to 7 here. So I'll start by explaining the law, and here I have with me 5 questions which we are to solve together. So by doing this, I think you will understand little about the law of indices. I think deeply about itself. So I'll start by explaining the law here. The first law here, we call it what? We call it multiplication law. We call this what? Multiplication law. The multiplication law is that whenever you are having a number which you can express in a notation form, because it's a notation form, this is the base, and this is the what? The power. So if you're having two numbers which you can express in this form, and when you it is when you are to what? You are to multiply them together. When two numbers are multiplied together and each of the number can be expressed in what? In notation form. Unlike 2, which is 2 raised to power, unlike 4, which is 2 raised to power of 2, 4. I can have 8, which is 2 raised to power of 3. I can have 32, which is 2 raised to power of 5, and so on. Other number, I can have 49, which is 2 raised to power of what? Of 7. So if you're having those type of number and you will multiply them together, so by using law of indices, that the base must be what? Must be equal. If 2 is here, 2 must be here. That's why we have xa and xa. So whatever the powers are, this power and this power, whatever they are, either they are minus or plus or 10 or 11, you can do what? You can simply bring one of the base out and what? And add the powers. And do what? And add the power. That is, the multiplication will change to what? The multiplication will change to what? Will change to addition here in the power here. So you just simply take one of the base. Take the place, and the base are equal. You take one of the base and what? And add the power. So in the second, we have the division law. We have the what? The division law. The division law is just something related to what? To the multiplication law. Since they have the same base again, when division is between them, since they have the same base, just pick one of the base and what? And introduce minus. Here we introduce plus in what? In multiplication law, while in division law we introduce what? Minus. So the third one is that any number, either 100, either 1 million, either 10,000, either x, either y raised to power of 0, anything raised to power of 0 is always what? Is always 1. It is a law, and it's, check my video. I will try to prove on how this x raised to power of 0 is equals to 1. So we have that of factorial, 0 factorial equals to 1. It's a law too. So let's continue. This is law of indices. We have what? We have x raised to power of what? Of fraction. This is a fraction. When we have fraction as our what? When we are having fraction as our power here. When the fraction is power here and we have a base. So you can simply express it like this. According to the law of indices, the what? The denominator here, we create a root on the what? On the x here. We create a root. Just bring down your x and make sure the denominator here, create a rule. Make sure it is what? The denominator, not the numerator. We create what? We create the root, and the numerator what will be raised to power of what? Will be the what? Will be the power. So that's why I said n root of what? M root, then x raised to power of what? Of what? Of n. Of what? Of n. So this is my root and this one is my what? Power. So here, this is let's say this is another multiplication law, or multiplication of 2 what? Of 2 power. When you are having a number which is a base, which is in form of notation form, which is having base and the what? And the power. So and it is enclosed with a bracket then it is also raised to another one. That is, all this one is raised to another power. Just simply multiply these two together. That's why I have x raised to the power of what? N multiplied by m. So that's why it's like this. So the 60 law here is that when you are having a base raised to power of what? Of negative real number. So just simply what? Simply, and this n raised to what is x raised to power of what? 1. Just simply what? Bring out the negative. The negative here will be the one to create what? Will create the what? Will create the inverse. The negative here will create what? Will create the inverse. Why this x will come down and raise to power of what? Of 1. This one is to power of what? 1. So if you are having two, so the seventh law is just that any number raised to power of 1 is that what? Is that number. Any number raised to power of 1 is that number. So here are some examples which we are going to look to. So since we know, we've used the formula. So this is number 1. This one, number 1 is x. There is 2 raised to power of what? 2 raised to power over 2 multiplied by 2 raised to power of 3. So according to the law, if you didn't forget, according to the law, don't forget this is the same thing as this 2 is the x, this 2 is the x here. So you just take this one, take one of the two, that is equal to 2, then 2 raised to plus what? Plus 2, plus 3, which is the same thing as 2 raised to power of 5. So which is the same thing as what? Which is the same thing as 32. So the second one here again, second one is we have 5 divided by what? By 25, which is the same thing as 5 divided by what? 25. So just try to express this one in notation form. This one is already cannot, this one cannot be expressed in notation form, but this can be expressed in notation form. So that is, we have 5 divided by 5 raised to power of what? 5 raised to power of 2. That is what? 25. So it's equals to what? It's equal to 5. These are the same base again. The second law here. The second law here, if you are not forgetting, this x is your 5 here, and this is like this. Then just this one is already raised to power of 1 here. This is 1 minus, that is the division will change to what? Negative, minus what? Minus 2. And this is the same thing as 5 raised to power of what? Minus 1, which you can express it as what? As 1 over 5, according to what? According to the 60 law here. If you didn't forget, so that's why we have it like this. So the third one is that we have what? 9 over 16 and raised to power of what? To power of negative half. So this 9 over 16 is to power of negative half is just the same. We use what? We use law here. You use two law here. We have the division law and we have this. Just have the negative law and we have this. Just simply bring out your negative first. Bring it out like 1, then all over this your main division, then 9 over what? Over 16 all raised to power of what? All raised to power of half, according to which law? According to this law here. Okay, so now it's the same thing as 1 over this 1 over what? Same thing as 1 over root of what? Root of 9 over 16. This is 9 over 16. This is according to what? According to this law here. According to this law here. So now, since you've done that, just try to find what? Find the root. Find the root of this. This is 1 over what? Over 3. That is root of 9 over what? Over 4. So by taking the inverse of it, the same thing as what? Simplify for this decision as 4 over 3, and that is your final answer. So we have the fourth one again, which is 2a multiplied by 3a all raised to power of what? 2. So here we are going to firstly expand this bracket. This one multiplied by this is 2 multiplied by this. They both have this what? they both have the square, so that means you are going to write it as a. Probably write this one now, then multiply it by what? 3 squared multiply by what? By a raised to power of what? Of 2. So you cannot have it as, since this one cannot be in notation form and this cannot be in notation form, this is already in notation form, but you can't take them together because they are what? They are of different base. So just simply say this is what? This is 15 of 9. Simply say that 2 times 9, then a multiplied by a raised to the power of 2. So this 2 times 9 will be what? Will be 18. So just bring your a, and this, use the law of the first law here. This is 1, that is 1 plus what? 2, and this is 18 raised to the power of what? Power of 3. So the